Good morning, everybody. It is still Monday morning. This time it is 9:56 a.m. and the corruption is so real. Things were as bad as I feared. I got through the number thing. What ended up happening is I spoke to several people in the line. Some lady that got in a good 15 minutes after I had shown up for the fourth time. She tried to go ahead of me. I corrected her and I got ahead of her. Then, meanwhile, the original person that I considered my nemesis, the one who used to have green hair, who I referred to as a green haired granny from Peeville, well, she told me that who we should really be mad at is this one guy that doesn't show up till like 8 o'clock, and he always wears army fatigues, and he always acts like he is the enforcer that tells everybody that they can't be in front of, on the sidewalk in front of the place until 9 o'clock. Even though that sidewalk is still a public sidewalk. I mean, look at all the time when I didn't like it when people were making a whole lot of racket underneath my bedroom window. And they were making noise and they were hooting and hollering. And guess what? They had no problems with letting me know that there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it because it was public property. So, it's funny. That agency thinks that they don't have to suffer listening to the unwashed masses lining up for their goodies that they're giving out. So anyway, I told that guy that I had been here since 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes before 6 o'clock, and so therefore I was supposed to be and had every right to be number one in line. And he said, well, nobody's supposed to even be here until 9 o'clock, which one thing has nothing to do with another. And okay, say people aren't supposed to show up until 9 o'clock for something that's being given out at 9:30. Anybody with any bit of horse sense knows that you have to find a way for people to hang out someplace before they do the lineup. And they also have to have a way of acknowledging that whoever shows up first gets in line first. Otherwise, you're going to have a stampede. You're going to have people get hurt. People bring families here. There's little kids. There's pregnant women. There's people on various mobility devices. There's somebody with a service dog of some kind, lots of bicycles. No, that would really cause problems, and especially with all the broken sidewalks where people can and do twist their ankles and stuff. And you want to talk about neighbors complaining, all the noise and commotion that would be. I mean, they were trying to keep people from talking when they were on the side of the street getting ready to line up, and especially these people that are on their cell phones. And some people really do not possess inside voices at all. Really. You know, and if they're talking on the phones, oh my God, yak, 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 like they should go into preaching. So, once again, I got number 3, which is still not shabby, you know. And the thing is, after everybody gets whatever according to the number, then you can go back for seconds. And I've gotten more meat, which I stick in the freezer, because, you know, I told you, I'm spoiling my mom rotten, you know. And that means making up for all the crappy meals she got in a nursing home. At least at the hospital, they fed them good. But you know what? So, I don't even know what I'm going to feed her today. But you know what I do know? I'm in the mood for a cup of coffee. And I have my pot here. And I always like to strain it since I'm using the cowboy coffee method. Try not to splash the keyboard too much. If I do, maybe I'll wet the little ants that are all over the place. Okay. And I can hang this up here. Oh yeah, I want to give a close-up of this card just so that my friend who sent it can see. It's from my friend Cece. She watches my videos and she is a dear friend. Hello. Anyway, that's what happened today. The corruption. And I just spilled a little bit of coffee on my keyboard. I gotta clean this up. But yeah, people still jumping in line. People still acting like idiots. Oh yeah. I wanted to tell you one other thing. There was people, the guy that was giving out the tickets was a different person than a person who usually gives out the tickets. And he was saying, I'm not giving out any tickets to you guys line up single file up against the wall. And there's a handful of people that would not bother doing that. They would rather hug the curb. One guy was on his bicycle. Another woman, she had a big, loud mouth. She definitely would not require any amplification. Matter of fact, she, again, should start her own church. She's got one of these big, booming orator voices, except it was an annoying voice. It wasn't an inspiring voice. And it's like people do not hear. And meanwhile, these people get on power trips and they say, I'm not going to put the numbers out until you guys get in a single file. I have nothing to do. I could be here all day. It's getting hot out there. My computer says 76 degrees and sunny. It feels a hell of a lot hotter than that. And I had to finally open up my umbrella to get some shade. It was really, when these people get on power trips, he's like about at least the third person that does like that, and you can't really say anything because these people are oftentimes the cooks too, and they'll be nice to you sometimes. So if somebody's cut me a break, giving me an extra plate that I can bring home to my mom or whatever, or they remember, oh, that's a girl that doesn't eat cheese, so they make sure not to put macaroni and cheese on a plate or something. When you know that people have been nice and have paid attention to detail, you don't want to add to their stress. But still, when you catch them being a little grouchy, that kind of detracts from the experience. And there are times, and somebody was even saying that this kind of behavior is just going to discourage people from going to these things. And it's an absolute truth. There was about 3 or 4 months that I stayed away from that line just because even though I stood to gain a lot in the way of food, especially the fresh fruits and vegetables that, if you don't eat them, they go bad. So we all need to improve our diets, But it really was not worth the ghetto bullshit. And no matter how they change the system to try to make it seem to be fairer, there are still people who take advantage. And because they insist on not having their precious public sidewalk besmirched by the unwashed masses that are their clients, I'm telling you, like I said, come to Atlantic City, the land of corruption, where, it's from the higher levels to even the lower levels. Yeah, love this place. Alright, I will talk to you tomorrow with more adventures. Alright, see you then. Bye.